BJP has got a shot in the arm in the state of Karnataka, the only state in South India where it is ruling. The two by-elections are very keenly contested. Two by-elections, one in Sira in Tumkur district and another one within Bangalore city in a constituency called Rajarajeshwari Nagar. Now this was also a very keenly contested election because the first time the newly appointed Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee chief, Mr. DK has taken it on himself the total responsibility of selecting the candidate and also campaigning for them. And for Mr. Yediyurappa, it was a do or die situation. If the party had lost both the elections, his future was in question. So he went all out to campaign and employ all his ministers and give all kinds of lollipops, including the offer to make one of the candidates a minister if he wins. And that has really helped him and keenly watched the contest. Now BJP has won both the seats, one with a large margin. Within the city, in Bangalore, the Rajarajeshwari Nagar constituency, the BJP candidate won by more than 50,000 votes. The candidate was one lady called Kusuma, who was the wife of an IAS officer, Mr. Ravi, DK Ravi, who died some time ago. Now she is new to politics. First time she was pitchforked as a candidate of Congress. No, she had no history of Congress background and her selection was a surprise to the party men. Her opponent was one Mr. Muniratna, who had been a 3-time MLA from the Congress, and he's a localized man. He's from that constituency and he has done a lot of good work in Rajarajeshwari Nagar. Just before the last elections, he switched sides, he joined BJP and he was one of the key members who helped Yediyurappa to come back to power, displacing Congress. Now this man was given a seat and he was also promised that he will be made a minister if the party wins. And he has won by a massive margin of more than 50,000 votes. The other constituency is Sira, which is in Tumkur district, adjacent to Bangalore district, where a Congress veteran called Mr. Jayachandra, TB Jayachandra, who was also a former minister, he took on a BJP candidate called Ravi Shankar. Now, this BJP candidate was also once part of Congress and he switched sides. So BJP now has this habit of giving the party ticket to the turncoats. And it has helped to get them elected also, because they have done some work and they are known faces in their constituency. So when BJP offers them the ticket and offers them some lollipops like ministership or corporate chairmanship, so people think that with the BJP in power in Karnataka, they will do something for their constituency. So that has worked in his favor. But Mr. Jayachandra put up a very, very tough fight and he lost only by about 1,500 votes. What is the future of Congress in Karnataka? The Congress has turned out to be a house divided. Now, during the campaign itself, there were people who were saying that who are talking about the next chief ministerial candidate, while DK Shivakumar's sizable followers are saying that he will be the next CM face. Mr. Siddaramaiah, the former chief minister's followers, wouldn't give up. They also said that he should be the chief minister because he has led the party, he had led the government for 5 years after a long time. One chief minister was in power for 5 years. So this created some kind of a confusion among the party workers, and the Congress party workers themselves were deeply divided. This did not work for the party in the by-election. And added to that was Mr. Yediyurappa's somewhat kind of a good work done during the COVID crisis. He was very successful in controlling the spread of corona, even though in the beginning it was looking a little dangerous. But then Karnataka was one of the states where the pandemic was controlled to a large extent, and he should thank his very young, dynamic health minister, Dr. Sudhakar, who personally took care, who went around all the hospitals on a day-to-day basis and he monitored the situation. So it was kind of a good work done by his ministerial colleagues, which helped Yediyurappa. And also in constituencies like Rajarajeshwari Nagar, which is in the city, where There are a lot of, most of the city constituencies lack civic amenities. But this Rajarajeshwari Nagar constituency has been nurtured by Muniratna in the earlier 3 terms. And roads are good and quite a lot of civic amenities have been done. The roads have been widened and it looks clean also. So people naturally wanted to go for a trusted ally, trusted man as an ally rather than a new face who will not be able to do much in an opposition ruled government. That is why she lost. Otherwise, this lady, she has a good image and she's also promised to do a lot of things. But unfortunately, with Yediyurappa government going to last for another 3 years, people were very skeptical what she can do. And so that is why she lost heavily. And so these two election victories have definitely given Mr. Yediyurappa a lease of life, and also he can look forward to work undisturbed for the next 3 years. And already today he has said that he is going to Delhi in the next 2 days to ask permission for cabinet expansion. So I think the central leadership also has to concede his demands because he has single-handedly helped the party to win the election. So it's all good tidings for the chief minister. And for Congress, there's quite a lot to do. First thing Mr. Dekumar Shivakumar should do is to contain the rebellion against him. And secondly, they should also listen to advisors from outside. What is happening is in party is they don't listen to non-party advisors. They go by whatever the old leaders are saying. Those who have enjoyed power and then they really now they're almost spent forces. It is time to throw them out and get some young faces and completely revamp the KPCC and also rework the campaign strategy in the next elections. Thank you.